Hey guys, Eber here with HardwareCanucks, and I want to make this quick video comparing the Galaxy Note 8 to the newly announced Google Pixel 2 XL. Quick disclaimer, this isn't going to be an in-depth comparison between the two smartphones, but rather a quick rundown as to what are some of the features that both of these devices bring to the table and which one offers the best bang for your buck, since both the Note 8 and the Pixel 2 XL are expensive smartphones. So let's get into it, but first a quick message from our sponsor.
Invest in storage that makes a difference. Choose Toshiba RD400 NVMe SSDs that are incredibly fast and reliable, backed by advanced warranty programs, so you can focus on what matters. RD400. Check it out in the description below.
Okay, so let's address pricing for these smartphones. The Note 8 starts at $930, and that gets you a 6.3-inch Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 2960 by 1440 and a pixel density of 521. Now, depending on your country or carrier, it comes with either the Exynos 8895 octa-core CPU or the Snapdragon 35 processor. You get 6 GB of RAM, 64 GB of onboard storage that can be expanded via microSD, 3300 mAh battery, IP68 water and dust resistant rating, wireless charging, S Pen, which is the key selling feature for the Note 8 when compared to other Galaxy devices. Now, the Pixel 2 XL is the complete opposite end of the spectrum when compared to the Galaxy Note 8. Pricing starts at $849, which is just $80 less than the Note. You get a 6-inch POLED display with a resolution of 2880 by 1440, so it's a little lower than the Note 8, but in real-world use, you're not going to notice a difference. It comes with the Snapdragon 835 CPU, 4 GB of RAM versus 6 on the Note 8, so perhaps we could expect a performance hit with multitasking. There are 2 storage options available with the Pixel 2 XL, 64 and 128 GB, but that adds additional cost, although it isn't expandable, which is a bit disappointing. The battery is slightly larger on the Pixel 2 XL. You're looking at roughly 3500 mAh versus 3300 on the Note 8. It's IP67 water resistant. It does not come with support for wireless charging, nor does it come with a stylus. From a design perspective, I do prefer the Pixel 2 XL over the Galaxy Note 8 just because it doesn't come with an all-glass back, but rather the hybrid premium coating material on top of the aluminum unibody construction feels rock solid in the hand. The Note 8 is still built pretty well, but the glass back questions durability, plus it can easily get slippery once it's all smudged up, so do take note of that. I should also mention that the fingerprint sensor location on the Pixel 2 XL is a lot more convenient to reach, whereas on the Note 8, it's right beside the 2 cameras, which is really hard to get through. Plus, over the course of my testing period with the Note 8, I've had times where it wouldn't recognize my finger that well, so I found that to be a bit annoying. However, the Galaxy Note 8 does come with a headphone jack, whereas the Pixel 2 XL does not. So if that's something that you consider as a must-have feature on a flagship Android smartphone, I think you should probably lean towards the Galaxy Note 8 just because it comes with a pair of headphones out of the box, whereas with the Pixel 2 XL, you're only just getting the phone and the charger. So from a value perspective, I feel like the Note 8 does offer pretty much the essentials of what you would need for an Android smartphone or a smartphone in general. The speaker setup on the Galaxy Note 8 might be a little bit concerning because you're only getting a bottom-facing mono speaker on the device when compared to the dual front-facing speakers on the Pixel 2 XL. Now, when you're watching content on the Galaxy Note 8, you can easily block the speaker, which completely mutes the sound, and it gets annoying, especially when you're watching a YouTube video before going to bed or just watching content in general. Now, I guess the trade-off would be the inclusion of a headphone jack and, of course, the headphones that come out of the box. But again, these are trade-offs that you'll just have to work around with. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on the speaker setup on the Galaxy Note 8 and the Pixel 2 XL. Which one would you pick? Would you mind taking that hit with the lack of a headphone jack on the Pixel 2 XL? Or are you okay with the front-facing or the rear-facing speaker on the Note 8 with the addition of the headphone jack? Let me know in the comments down below. The camera systems on both these smartphones are a bit different. So starting with the Galaxy Note 8, we have 2 12-megapixel sensors at different focal lengths, and you can use either of those to take shots, whether that's a more wider shot. If you want a more close-up shot, you can use the secondary telephoto lens. There's also another feature called live focus mode that essentially uses the 2 cameras to isolate the subject from the background, and the user is given the option to adjust the background blur. But there's also another feature where it takes a backup photo with a wide-angle lens. So if you end up messing up the composition with the live focus mode, you can always rely on that wide-angle shot to at least get something out of it. Now with the Pixel 2 XL, you're only getting a single 12-megapixel sensor with an f1.8 aperture. Google is heavily relying on their AI assistants to create this portrait mode that essentially cross-matches and creates this depth map to isolate pixels, and it just refines the edges, cross-matches it with their database that includes facial analysis and object detection, and it creates this portrait effect. So we have to I can't wait to get my hands on the Pixel 2 XL once it starts shipping so I can test it out in depth, and stay tuned for my full review of the Pixel 2 XL when it comes out. The software experience on both these devices are going to be completely different regardless of them being Android smartphones. So with the Galaxy Note 8, you're looking at Android 7.1 with Samsung's skin on top of it. We should probably expect Android Oreo update in the upcoming weeks, but that's again the downside with Samsung devices, is they're very late when it comes to pushing out updates. Whereas with Google phones, they're straight, they're first in line to receive any security bugs, software upgrades, even operating system upgrades. The other positive thing about the Pixel smartphone is the clean stock Android experience. It does not come with bloatware applications, which would then hinder performance. Whereas with the Galaxy Note 8, it does come with bloatware applications, especially when you purchase it through a carrier. And of course, updates would then postpone over time, depending on which carrier you're with. So from a software perspective, I'd much rather go with the Pixel 2 XL smartphone because I'm first in line to receive updates, and it's a much more usable experience. I prefer stock Android just because of its clean and fluid UI, whereas with Samsung, it's Samsung. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, one of the key selling features with the Note 8 is the S Pen. And I guess that's one of the distinguishing features of the Note 8, even compared to the Pixel 2 XL, because that phone does not come with a stylus, whereas this guy does. If you're someone who heavily relies on taking notes, and if you're working on constantly on the go, and if you're dealing with a lot of documents, which includes signing some of them, the stylus will come in really handy. There are also other cool features that come with the stylus. So for instance, you can take a screenshot and quickly highlight things and send it to anyone. There's a function where you can create live messaging features, where it just basically creates animated text and it saves it as a GIF or GIF, and then you can share it to anyone. There's a live auto translating feature, and of course, much more shortcuts that you can customize it to your own desire. Whereas with the Pixel 2 XL smartphone, like I mentioned earlier, it's a much more cleaner experience. You're not getting all those extra set of features that Samsung gives you with the Note 8 or even the Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus. Lastly, I want to talk about Bixby and Google Assistant. So the Note 8 does come with Google Assistant built in, but you can also use Bixby if you want to really take advantage of that button. By the way, it's really annoying, but I'm glad that you can actually disable it. Samsung has rolled out an update with the Note 8 smartphones where you can disable the function completely. But with the Pixel, it's just a much more cleaner experience. As I mentioned in the beginning, it comes with Google Assistant. It's there when you need it. There's a squeeze functionality that activates Google Assistant, but that can also be disabled. So we have options. It ultimately comes down to user preference. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on the Galaxy Note 8 and the Pixel 2 XL. Which one of these smartphones would you consider? And in fact, which one of these two smartphones would you recommend to a friend or family member? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay tuned for my full review of the Galaxy Note 8. I'm Eber with HardwareCanucks. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more similar content, and we'll see you in the next one.